Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Always happy to have you with me. And if you're watching on the live stream, apologize for the lighting. I'm moving, so we're working on it. Anyway, taking a look at the news that has happened recently. No one claimed Forrest Whitley, so he's been outrighted to AAA, and he's off the Rays 40-man roster. Former top pitching prospect. You thought somebody may take a chance at it. No one did, so the Rays will have a chance to fix him up, and potentially he could rejoin the 40-man at some point, but it's been a rough go of things for him at the big league level. Colson Montgomery is going to be promoted by the White Sox for the weekend series against the Rockies. He's hitting 214 with a high strikeout rate in AAA. Had a lot of struggles at the beginning of the year in Charlotte. They sent him to Florida to rework his swing. He's striking out less and finding more success. He came back and has been more productive. He hit 281 in June. He's got power, but he also is likely to strike out quite a bit. So we'll see how that translates to the big league level. Once again, he's being promoted and will make his debut during that weekend series against the Rockies. The Giants are going to select Sergio Alcantara, switch hitting middle infielder who has not seen MLB action in 3 years. Daniel Johnson has been optioned, and catcher Logan Porter, has been DFA'd by the Giants to make room for Alcantara on the big league roster. Max Muncy, the Dodgers, Max Muncy, that is expected to miss 6 weeks with a bone bruise on his left knee. This could result in more playing time for Hae-Sung Kim, who has been playing sparingly. He'll likely take over more second base duties. Tommy Edman, Enrique Hernandez probably switching at third base. We'll see what they decide to do. Maybe this opens the door for Alex Freeland to make his debut with the Dodgers. Again, don't know. Just speculating with Freeland, but Kim should be able to get more playing time from this. The Dodgers claimed CJ Alexander from the Yankees. That gives them some more depth on the infield, particularly at the corner positions. Angels select Chad Stevens as Christian Moore heads to the 10-day IL. Stevens is 26. He was hitting 307 with 14 home runs in Salt Lake. He should add into the infield mix. I mean, don't read too much into the stats. That's the PCL where numbers get inflated. Still, he's been hitting well and having a good year. He did find himself in the lineup yesterday, and I believe went 0 for 4 with a strikeout. We'll see how much playing time he actually winds up getting, but he is on the Angels roster as of right now. The Tampa Bay Rays have reinstated Ha-Sung Kim from the 60-day IL. They optioned Curtis Mead to the minors. Kim will make his Rays debut and strengthens a group that, well, frankly, could use some strengthening. They've had it's been kind of a weak spot in their lineup, and Kim should help them push for a playoff run here as we approach the back end of the season. The Guardians have a rotation shakeup a little bit. They DFA Colby Allard and Luis L. Ortiz placed on paid administrative leave while under investigation by the league for a couple pitches that have been connected to gambling. You can read more about that on ESPN. I'm not going to dive into it here, but that does mean Joey Cantillo and Doug Nikhazy will enter the rotation. Cantillo was in the bullpen to start the year. He was optioned down to AAA. They were stretching him out as a starter. He did make a start. And Nikhazy, we saw earlier this year, got roughed up in his lone MLB appearance. So he'll probably get at least one start. We'll see what happens. The Mets pitching chaos continues. Paul Blackburn heading to the 15-day IL with a right shoulder impingement. Daniel Nunez is potentially undergoing Tommy John surgery. And Blade Tidwell has been optioned to AAA, taking those 3 spots. Austin Warren, Justin Hageman, and Rico Garcia. We'll see who takes what role. I mean, Hageman likely to get some starts. Interesting to see. Tidwell had been pretty good recently, but either way, Mets pitching chaos, it's going. And finally, Brandon Woodruff is slated to start on Sunday for the Brewers. Woodruff has been on the shelf for about 2 years now. He was on the road to recovery. He hit a speed bump, but he's slated to be back. And I guess we'll just see what happens in that rotation. I mean, it's already pretty deep. They're going 6 strong at the big league level right now. They're adding Woodruff into the mix. They have incredible depth, and this isn't even counting Logan Henderson, who they could call upon at any time to make starts. So, um, I I don't know what role Woodruff is gonna play. I mean, he's been out for 2 years. He was like 91 miles an hour in his rehab starts in AAA, so maybe they work him more in long relief. I don't know. But he is slated to start at least this weekend. We'll see how the Brewers decide to handle all that starting pitching depth that they have. Take a look at some of the hitting highlights from yesterday's games. For the Angels, Nolan Shanuel has continued to show improved power. He hit a home run in yesterday's games. Uh, he has 8 on the year now, which for a first baseman is not an incredible number, but he had 14 in a little over 600 at bats between 2023 and 2024. This year, he's had about 300 and he's up to 8. So it's not a massive improvement. I mean, you're looking at about the halfway point. He's slated to get 16 over 14. I guess that's not notable, but he is getting to more power and it's happening more in a shorter amount of time during this season. So we'll see what happens. I mean, he's only 23 years old and he may never be a massive power guy, but he does have a good hit tool. And if he can get to, you know, he's slated for mid-teens right now. I mean, that's not the worst thing. Jurickson Profar for the Braves. He's played 2 games since returning from his PED suspension, and he has homered in both of those games. He's 3 for 8 since returning with 2 solo shots. So I guess he was ready to get back. Jason Dominguez had a good day, hitting a double and a triple while adding a stolen base yesterday. He collected 4 hits in 5 at-bats. The Martian, as he's known, has been on a hot streak, hitting 396 rather over the last 15 games, 4 stolen bases in that time. Doesn't have any home runs. He has 6 on the year, and in that last 15 games, he struck out 14 times with only 4 walks, but hitting very well recently. 3 Blue Jays combined for 7 extra base hits against the Yankees. Those 3 Blue Jays. George Springer, who had 2 home runs, bringing him to 15 on the year. Addison Barger hit his 11th home run and added a pair of doubles. And Nathan Lucas had a pair of doubles as well. Spencer Torkelson hit a 3-run bomb for the Tigers in their loss, his 19th of the year. He's hitting .234 on the season. And this is about what we're getting from Torque. He's going to hit home runs, low average, probably some high strikeouts, but definitely good to see him being back from whatever else, he's returning to form a little bit from what we would expect from Torque versus what his performance has been over the last couple of years. Cam Smith for the Astros continues his hot hitting, went 3 for 5 with a double and a triple. The rookie's hitting .291 after spending such a little time in the minors. I know that was the talking point at the beginning of the season, started slow, but he's really heated up pretty well. Again, 3 for 5 in yesterday's games. Jorge Polanco collected 3 hits, all extra base hits. He had a pair of doubles and hit his 12th home run of the season. Looking at some of the pitching highlights from yesterday's games, Joey Cantillo mentioned that he returned to the Guardians rotation. Well, he got the start yesterday and walked 3, struck out 5 across 3 1/3 shutout innings. Again, he was sent down with the express purpose of stretching him out so he could rejoin the Guardians eventually as a rotation piece. Threw 68 pitches across his 3 1/3 innings. He was doing well in AAA too, last I had checked. Cantillo lined up against Cade Horton in the Cubs. Horton also struck out 5 batters, but he did it over 7 scoreless innings with a pair of walks, and Cade Horton lowered his season ERA to 4.15 as he's had his ups and downs, but this was a good game from him. Jose Soriano struck out 7 over 7 shutout innings with a pair of walks for the Angels. He's been a solid presence in that Angels rotation this season, throwing 104 innings with 91 strikeouts and a 3.72 ERA. Chris Bassett struck out 9 Yankees while walking 3, giving up 3 runs across 5 2/3 innings. Dietrich Enns for the Tigers. He had a good outing his first time out against the Athletics. This time against the Nationals, he was tagged for 7 earned runs across 4 innings. Didn't ever think that he was going to have a long stay with the Tigers, at least in that rotation. We'll see what they do with him. I imagine he's not going to live too much longer on that big league roster unless they move him to a bullpen role. But Reese Olson is back, and so that's going to fill out the rotation a little bit more. And we'll see what they decide to do with Dietrich ends. But not a great outing against the Nationals. 7 earned runs, 4 innings. Who did have a really good day? Yuri Perez. I mean, it seems like we've been waiting and waiting, and we're just kind of letting him come back and find his footing. Well, he finally spun the gem that it seems like we have all been waiting for. 6 shutout innings while scattering a hit and a walk with 7 strikeouts. And so just great to see. I mean, obviously he was working his way back after being gone for so long, but Yuri Perez, phenomenal day. Love to see it. Robbie Ray, been great this year. It feels like I talk about him every single weekend, and with good reason. Complete game, went 9 innings against the Diamondbacks, gave up a pair of earned runs with 7 strikeouts. So he's just continuing the whole Robbie Ray thing that he's been doing this year. On the other side of that, Brandon Pfaadt had his strikeout stuff working against the Giants. Struck out 8 across 6 innings with 4 earned runs, still carrying a 5.42 ERA on the season with 80 strikeouts in 91 innings, a little over 91 innings. This includes, I mean, this was a solid outing for him, especially in relation to where he's been recently. He's given up 28 earned runs over his last 29 innings, spanning the last 7 games he's gone out there. So good to see the high strikeouts, at least in this one. Dustin May struck out 9 White Sox over 7 innings while giving up a pair of runs. Both runs came in on a Brooks Baldwin 2-run home run. Other than that, he was really good against the White Sox. Seth Lugo for the Royals goes 6 1/3 against the Mariners, gave up 1 earned run, struck out 7. He's got a 2.65 ERA on the season, so he's been having a very good year. And finally, in terms of yesterday's games, Logan Evans back in the big leagues, making his first start for the Mariners since June 10th. Went 5 2/3, shutout innings, scattered 3 hits and a walk while striking out 3. So a solid effort from him against the Royals. With that, we're going to take a quick timeout right now. When we come back, we're going to take a look at the pitching coming up today. Once again, I appreciate you joining me. My name is Trevor Hooth, and this is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. We've talked news, we've talked hitting, we've talked pitching. Let's take a look at what we got coming up today and some pitching names that stuck out, at least for me. First things first, we got 3 teams with to be determined listed as their starter. Poked around, couldn't find any information about who they will be starting. Very possible I missed stuff, but the Mets, Pirates, and Angels all have TBD listed as their probable starter. I doubt TBD can start 3 games, so there might be some other names coming up. In terms of who we know is starting, the intrigue for me around Kumar Rocker is continuing. He's up against the Padres today. Over his last 3 games, he's allowed 4 runs across just over 16 innings with 16 strikeouts. He had a rough start to the year. He was sent down, came back, had a rough start, but after that, it seems like it's gotten a little bit better. So interested to see where Kumar Rocker is. He did well against the Mariners last time out. He's got the Padres today. Reese Olson returning to action, and I could not be more excited. I love Reese Olson. He's going to take on the Guardians. Hasn't pitched since May 17th, but rough start to the year, was turning it around, having a great time, and then the injury hit. Hopefully he comes back in the form we saw him in prior to the injury just before, but big Reese Olson fan, think he's a great fantasy pitcher, real life pitcher. Super excited to have him back. Had to mention it. And, I don't want to say this, but you almost have to be interested in Adrian Hauser at this point. He's going up against the Rockies in Coors, so that is definitely a point against him. But he's got a 1.90 ERA and 31 strikeouts in 42.2 innings, and he's going up against the Rockies offense. He's enjoyed his time as a White Sox. You can certainly tell that based on the stats, but at this point, he's been performing well, and he's going up against an offense that is favorable for him. So seems like he'd be definitely a good streaming option. And finally, the matchup of the day. Andrew Abbott versus Jesus Luzardo. Abbott's got a 1.79 ERA with 76 strikeouts in 80 innings. He had his delayed start to the year. Luzardo, when he's been on, has been absolutely dominant this year. He's also had some less than good outings, we'll call them. Luzardo has 111 strikeouts through 95 and a third innings with a 4.06 ERA. That should be a pretty fun game. Reds versus Phillies, Abbott versus Luzardo. And with that, I want to wish everybody a happy 4th of July. Enjoy some baseball today if you can. Also, make sure to check out pitcherlist.com. We have our top 100 hitters, top 100 pitchers, top relievers, anything you might need for your fantasy baseball leagues, on top of just fantastic written content that is coming out all the time. So check out pitcherlist.com. Join PL Pro. You can join our Discord and come and talk to myself as well as the smart writers that we have. I just exist in Pitcherlist because I get to do some podcasts. But I'd love to talk baseball with you. And of course, you can get great information from the smart minds in that Discord. All you got to do is join PL Pro. I appreciate you joining me here today. Once again, my name is Trevor Hooth. I will see you tomorrow. This has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.